but I think Manny, at this stage, can rise to that challenge and win the fight.
A crossover star.
I would think probably Manny Pacquiao.
He's 46 years old. He's faced more world champions than most fighters could even name in their dreams. And now, with his legacy already etched in stone and the world's eyes fixed on him, Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring, chasing one more night of glory. But not everyone thinks that's wise, because when Bob Arum talks, boxing listens, and what he just said about Pacquiao's comeback has fans torn between excitement, worrying, and a tinge of heartbreak. This isn't just another legend chasing an easy payday. This is a man who made history, walked away after decades of war inside the ropes, and now stands on the edge of something genuinely dangerous. Bob Arum, his former promoter, the man who helped transform Pacquiao into a global icon, isn't pulling any punches with his words. Tonight, we break it all down: the hype, the heartbreak, and the warning shot fired by one of boxing's last living titans.
With movement, I think a win by the number of punches that he throws.
Pacquiao's return isn't just another retired fighter dipping a toe back in. It's the potential rewriting of boxing history. If he pulls this off, he won't just be the oldest welterweight champion ever. He'll stand as living proof that time doesn't conquer every legend. Most comebacks feel like vanity projects or desperate cash grabs, but this one hits different. Manny's not fighting in an exhibition halfway across the world for nostalgia's sake. He's stepping into a sanctioned war against a reigning WBC champion, Mario Barrios, younger, faster, hungry, and dangerous. And rising through all the noise is one familiar voice from the past: Bob Arum, the legendary promoter who guided Pacquiao to superstardom. He's not here to hype or dismiss, but to speak with the weight of a man who's seen too many greats pushed too far. This is bigger than a single fight. It's a collision of legacy and reality, nostalgia and consequence. When Arum breaks his silence, it's a sign there's more at stake than a belt. There's history in motion and maybe tragedy lurking in its shadow. It didn't start with a press conference or dramatic reveal. It started with something quieter: Manny never really letting the ring go. Even after retiring in 2021, every round he ever fought still echoed in his bones, calling him back, not for money or fame, but for something unfinished. While the world watched him trade gloves for politics, trying to shape a new legacy for his people, you could still see the fighter behind the suit, the restless rhythm of a warrior not done writing his story. So he trained quietly at first, then harder, sparring, conditioning, moving like a man with something to prove, not to the world but to himself. By late 2023, when rumors of a comeback surfaced, they weren't dismissed. They were met with curiosity, cautious excitement, that old spark fans feel when a legend refuses to fade. Now, with Freddie Roach back in his corner and leaked footage of blistering mitt-work and lightning footwork, Pacquiao isn't staging a sideshow. He's preparing for a real fight against a real champion. Whether that's brave or reckless depends on who you ask, but the countdown is on, and Bob Arum knows what that means. Mario Barrios isn't a warm-up. He's not a hand-picked name to flatter a legend's return. He's a dangerous, disciplined, battle-hardened WBC champ, younger, hungry, built for this era's fast, data-driven boxing. He's from a generation that grew up studying Pacquiao, now stepping in not as a student, but as the man who could retire the master for good. Barrios isn't built like the fighters Pacquiao danced around a decade ago. He's rangy, precise, deceptively powerful, and fully prepared. He may not have Pacquiao's resume, but he has youth, time, and the chance to carve his name into history by stopping an icon. Many think he's the safer choice for Manny's return, but that assumption could be the most dangerous thing of all. Bob Arum has seen it all: ring wars, fallen kings, legends dethroned in a single round. When he talks about Manny Pacquiao now, it's not as a promoter protecting a brand, it's as someone who helped build the Pacquiao mythos from scratch, who sat ringside through his bloodiest victories and toughest defeats, and who understands exactly what this comeback risks becoming. When Arum spoke about Manny's return, his words weren't bitter or dismissive, they were laced with deep admiration and concern, like a father figure watching a son step into a fire he may not survive this time. He said he hopes Pacquiao does well, wishes him luck, but beneath that is a gravity boxing insiders heard immediately. It's the unspoken alarm of a man who knows what happens when a fighter's heart says yes, but his body starts saying no. Arum acknowledged Pacquiao still looks good, sharp on pads, quick in camp, but he made it clear sparring isn't combat, controlled gyms aren't fight night. No amount of muscle memory can fully reward.
Made him miss, make him pay. Made my down and miss, and then there was no reaction after that.
Wind the clock when the lights blaze, the crowd roars, and real punches fly with bad intentions. He brushed off rumors about an Amir Khan fight, pointing out that Barrios is the real opponent, the real threat. In that, he drew a line between fantasy and reality. The headlines may hype it up, but the fight itself will tell the truth, and nostalgia won't soften the blows. Arum has promoted thousands of bouts. When he says age is undefeated, it's not a catchy line. It's a truth he's seen written in blood and regret too many times. He never questions Pacquiao's heart, but he questions the need, the wisdom, the cost of risking so much when the margin for error is razor thin. Maybe most telling of all, Arum didn't outright say don't do it. He knows Manny wouldn't listen. Instead, he offered a mirror, showing us a legend chasing glory and a sport that still hasn't learned how to let heroes walk away. He sees history repeating, and maybe this time, he just wants someone to hear the warning before the bell rings.
You can't keep taking punches to the head without it affecting you as you get old. I mean, I'm worried as far as Manny.
Every comeback comes with a cost, but when it's someone like Manny Pacquiao, a fighter who's done it all, the question isn't just can he win again. It's is the risk worth the reward, and what does he stand to lose? If it all goes wrong in ways no one wants to say out loud? Because the truth is, Pacquiao's body isn't 25 anymore. His hands may still be fast, his instincts sharp, but there's a difference between training and taking clean shots from a world-class fighter without consequences that linger long after the crowd has left. If he wins, it's seismic. A 46-year-old, a division world champion stepping back into the spotlight, defeating a reigning WBC champion, and redefining what longevity means in boxing, placing himself alongside Bernard Hopkins and George Foreman, whose final acts became legendary. But if he loses, not just on points but badly, decisively, it won't just bruise his record. It could rewrite how his entire career is remembered, with people asking why a man who owed nothing to anyone risked everything for one last taste of the roar. Bob Arum knows this double edge too well. He's seen fighters win that final battle and become immortal, and he's seen them carried out under the lights, dazed or broken in ways that never truly heal. That's the real risk for Pacquiao, not just losing a fight, but losing the ending he earned. One bad night can shake a legacy built over 20 years. And yet, that's exactly the danger that lures legends back, because for someone like Manny Pacquiao, greatness isn't measured by safety, it's measured by how close you're willing to dance to the edge, and whether you can still stand there without falling.
At this stage, can rise to that challenge and win the fight. I think he has.
The moment Manny Pacquiao's comeback shifted from rumor to reality, the reaction split the boxing world in two. On one side, fans who grew up watching him conquer 8 divisions, thrilled at the chance to see him do the impossible one more time. To them, this isn't just a comeback, it's an unfinished chapter, a chance to push the final page even further. Training footage only fuels the fire. flashes of the old speed, the old rhythm, the old warrior's heartbeat. But not everyone's cheering. A chorus of realists, ex-fighters, trainers, analysts, even young boxers who idolized Pacquiao are asking the same uneasy question. Is this really about glory, or is it about refusing to let go? Mike Tyson's own son added his voice, warning this could follow the same painful pattern that traps so many legends, where one fight to many becomes a cautionary tale instead of a victory lap. Even Sugar Ray Leonard weighed in with quiet concern, reminding everyone there's a world of difference between being in shape and being fight-ready after years away from real damage.
Just any advice from him at all? Just be healthy and do what you think you can do. It's a hard thing to.
Online, the debate is fierce. Some celebrate the legend's return. Others see the long, grim list of icons who couldn't outrun time. And now, with Bob Arum weighing in, half proud, half worried, the stakes feel even bigger. This is no longer just about a belt or a payday. It's about legacy, sacrifice, and how far a man is willing to go to protect or risk everything he's built. With the fight now locked in for July 19th in Las Vegas, the countdown is real. Not just another date on the calendar, but a moment that could echo through boxing history. The pre-fight rhythm is already familiar. Wildcard gym training montages, slow-motion mitt-work with Freddie Roach, glimpses of sparring partners trying to match his footwork, sound bites feeding the hype. But behind all that is a different tension, because this isn't the same young Pacquiao sprinting to the ring with nothing to lose. This feels like a story circling back, an echo of De La Hoya, Thurman, but now with the weight of time. Pressing down, Bob Arum's words aren't just commentary. They're emotional context from a man who helped build this story and now watches it continue without him, proud but worried. His words will shape press conferences, media questions, commentary reels, because this fight isn't just about whether Manny can still win. It's about whether he still belongs. When the first bell rings, the headlines vanish, the hype fades, and the truth waits in the center of the ring. This isn't just a fight, it's a statement, a test of whether greatness really can defy time, or if the cost of chasing it becomes too high for even the greatest to pay. If Pacquiao pulls this off, if he beats a reigning champion after, nearly for years away, the message echoes far beyond boxing, that aging can be bent, that hunger can outlast time, that the impossible is sometimes possible. But if it goes wrong, if the risk outweighs the reward, this becomes something else. A cautionary tale, a reminder that boxing doesn't preserve legacies gently, it tests them until they break. Either way, what happens on July 19th will ripple outward, shaping how comebacks are judged, how pride and permanence collide, and what the sport demands from the heroes we refuse to let go. And so here we are, less than a month away from a night that could be unforgettable, unpredictable, and maybe even historic. A living legend stepping back into the fire, not for money, not for headlines, but because something deep inside refuses to be finished. As Bob Arum watches from the sidelines, half hopeful, half haunted, the rest of us can only wonder, what ending will this fight write? Will it be a final blaze of glory that cements Pacquiao's story as the greatest comeback ever told, or will it be a hard lesson in knowing when to walk away? Either way, the clock is ticking, and when that bell rings, history won't wait.
Back and forth they go. Manny landing most of the shots.